Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call to order the regular board meeting for August 11th, 2022. Will be open at 6:38. Item B, roll call.
Kelly Jensen present.
Walsgraf here.
Brianna Texoni here.
Chad Wadsworth here.
Tim Jorgensen here. Let the red record show that all board members are present. Item 1C, regular board meeting agenda. Motion to consider.
A motion.
Robbie,
All motion.
Brianna,
Kelly Jensen second.
Kelly, Dr. Zahaki. Thank you, Mr. Jorgensen. We do have an amended board agenda. First one is under consent. 9L, we have Edmentum. And under Ed Services, 11D, we added Vista Higher Learning. Thank you. Board member discussion? Hearing none, call a question.
Hang on just a minute.
Hold on,
Are those action items?
consent.
So they're contract action items.
9L is consent, and under Ed Services, it is an action item. That's Mr.
Okay,
Foster.
so they're both action items. Were they on the agenda on Monday? Have I seen the contracts?
Edmentum was on the agenda on Monday.
Okay,
Vista was just added.
yeah, so I'm not gonna be on that.
Let's see. Oh, I'm in.
Referring to 11. Mr. Falter, you said you're raising a question about the addition of 11D.
It's an action item, correct?
Yes,
It calls for a contract, correct?
yes,
It calls for expenses, expenditure of taxpayer funds, correct?
that's correct.
And I'm just seeing it now, correct? I can't even see it now.
Yes.
Does anyone else besides me see an issue?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, guys.
So we have to take,
Is this going to disrupt student services that students need?
Vista Higher Learning is the Vasquez Spanish textbook adoption for fall 2022. And that's why it was added on the agenda late.
We had Vista last year, correct? Or is this new?
This is new.
This is new.
Let's listen to what Chad has to say. We'll pull it up when it comes along. I'm not going to hang the agenda over this, but I think I've made it myself pretty clear here. So we'll see it when it comes out.
I mean, my question would be is can we review the contract tonight? Is it something that we get our hands on to look at before we vote on it?
Yes, it should be, it's attached to the board docs document for the agenda, and I believe Mr. Alice could actually pull that up as an attachment when it comes time.
Because the only thing I'm seeing is the proposal. I'm not seeing any contractual verbiage.
I'm confused here. Was this on the ed docs and just didn't show up on the agenda?
No. It was not on,
So
Board
when
docs.
was it posted to the agenda?
that was today, Mr. Falsgrove.
Okay, that's not 72 hours. So we'll discuss this when it comes up.
So the consideration for the agenda will be, do you have a proposal for that, Mr. Falter?
Yeah, put it on the agenda 72 hours before the meeting. I'm just me. There's 4 other people.
So we have a motion to approve the agenda. Is there any other board member discussions? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, no.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. 4-1, the agenda is approved. Public participation 2A. Dr. Zahaki,
At this time, we don't have any public comments.
3A, closed session discussion. We have a motion to consider.
Chad will move.
Chad,
Brianna will second.
Brianna. Board member discussion. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, aye.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. The motion carries 5-0. We'll adjourn to closed session at 6:44. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to reconvene from closed session at 7:40. At 7:40 PM. Flag salute. Mr. Wadsworth, could you lead us in the flag salute, please?
Please stand and move your hat, go ahead, hand over your heart, ready, begin.
Item 4B, copy of the civility statement. When addressing the board and communicating, please communicate clearly and concisely with a respect for the time of others. Listen objectively, carefully considering the opinions of others. Understand the counterproductive effects of disruptive, demeaning, or intimidating behaviors. Understand and respect district policies and procedures. Maintain a respect for the rich history of the district and the efforts of others who have served in the past. Item 5, closed session. The board will consider and may act on any of the following items in closed session. Action taken in closed session will be reported out in open session as required by law. Closed session may be called at any time during a formal meeting by a motion of the Board of Education for the purpose of discussing personnel problem, pupil problem, a purchase consultation on a legal problem with an attorney and employee organizations in regard to salaries and or fringe benefits. All formal action, such matters must be made in an open meeting. My duty to report out on closed session. The board did move forward with. Find my right ones here. There it is. The board did move forward with, in closed session, the board voted 4-0 with 1 absent to ratify the settlement agreement in case number 2022050009. The board also authorized the superintendent and legal counsel to. This correct, everyone. I wrote it better here. To move forward with year-end data analysis. The vote on that was 5-0. The board also authorized the superintendent and legal counsel to move forward with investigation regarding records. The vote on that was 4 with 1 abstention, 4 favored, 1 abstention. And the final readout is that pursuant to the government code section 54953 subdivision C3, the board provides this oral summary of the salary increase afforded to the superintendent, Dr. Zahakian, by virtue of his contract employment adopted on June 24th, 2021. Dr. Zahakian's current employment contract requires a 2.5 salary increase if Dr. Zahakian receives a satisfactory performance evaluation for the prior year. Dr. Zahakian received a satisfactory performance evaluation for the 2021-2022 school year. For the 2021-2023 school year, Dr. Zahakian's salary shall be $208,075. All other terms and conditions of Dr. Zahakian's employment contract remain the same, which is available for public inspection. That concludes the readout from closed session. Item 6, public comments. You've submitted cards to speak to the Board of Trustees, card located that was on the back table for any agendized or non-agendized item to the superintendent and to the board president prior to the meeting. Not more than 3 minutes are allotted to any one speaker and no more than 20 minutes on the same subject. This portion of the agenda is for comments, recognitions, and reports to the board, and is not intended to be a question and answer period. If you have questions for the board, please provide the board president with a written copy, and the administrator will provide answers at a later date. The first card that I have is for a non-agendized item, and it's Mr. Tom Costin. When you come up, please state your name for the record.
Hi, I'm Tom Costin, acting resident. Tom Costin, acting resident. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Thank you. All right. Faith in God, family, community, leadership, and fellow man. Faith is a major construct of our society and our humanity. Many in this community have lost the faith of this institution. The Acton Agua Dulce Unified Board of Governors, myself included. There are many indicators. It's a known fact that there are many parents in this community that choose not to put their children in our district. I'm sure everyone attending this meeting knows several families that are in private schools, homeschooling outside the district, or choose Santa Clarita or Quartz Hill. There's a simple reason for this. These parents do not believe our district schools can reliably provide what they perceive as needed for their children. They have either lost faith or never considered enrolling in our district. I hear lots of excuses why parents choose not to attend. Families are leaving. There's no new construction. There are no new families moving. While all these excuses may have some basis in truth, you have to ask what the underlying reason families choose to leave one area and move to another. Quality of the school system is often the primary consideration. Developers and individuals also take this into account. Leaks and plead for help. Leaks are a sign of disgruntled and unhappy employees and are a call for help. Our district has a reputation of toxicity. Teachers leave mid-year, long-term subs cancel before they start. The list goes on and on. I don't have time to give you all the details, but I think you know what I'm talking about. We need new leadership. Leadership that does not make excuses, doesn't continue to blame the previous leadership 6 years later. Leadership that understands their accountability and does not rely on platitudes. For example, everything I do is for the children. Board members are not accountable for children. They're accountable to the residents of our community. If you want to be accountable to children, teachers is where you should be. With new leadership, we need to rebuild our district from the ground up. We need a new foundation. A foundation based on the specific needs of the community with real community outreach and real involvement of the community. Members of this board have continuously stated that their goal is to rejoin the community of educators. Acton Agua Dulce is the black sheep. Well, my opinion is we need to rejoin the community and have the community want to come. So we shouldn't worry so much about what other educators say. We should worry about what people in our own communities say. Misplaced priorities is what the problem is. My goal as a candidate, there you go, I'm a candidate, is to regain the faith of the community, build the school district, that the families of Acton Agua Dulce choose to attend with pride. And then lastly, I just want to thank Chad and Brianna for just the last 2 years, and Brianna just for their efforts, and thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Costa. Next speaker, Ms. Tracy Constant.
Tracy Costin. I'm here as a parent, not in the newspaper tonight. I'd like to thank Dr. Chamberlain for her stepping up as the interim principal over the summer at Vasquez. It's difficult to come in after a popular principal leaves, and she has made connections with students, staff, and parents. She's there all the time. She's very professional. She knows her stuff. She's pleasant and very genuine. Mr. Wadsworth, I'd like to thank you for getting back to your constituents personally, not having staff call them. I want to thank you for speaking up at some of the last few meetings. It reminds me of past meetings when they were held at Meadowlark, and board members sometimes would have heated discussions and disagree, but we on this side of the table always knew where they stood because they spoke clearly, not in puzzles. Which brings me to Mr. Faltzgraf. I hope you realize that the state of the district's lack of staff is in great part because of the lack of leadership that you've shown on this board, you and your behaviors. Many staff have left because of you, including the previous superintendent who left running. And I know this from his own words to me, which I haven't published. New teachers are hiring and quitting before they start. Some of them tune into Zoom and they call me and say, I can't work there. Gotta quit before we start. In particular, because of your behaviors. If your colleagues on the board will not hold you accountable, because they're the ones who can, for whatever reason, they're not holding you accountable, whether they're intimidated or they don't know if they can or they don't want to, then those of us on this side of the table will have to, and I will continue to do so, because the teachers, staff, and students of this district, I hope you're listening, Mr. Jorgensen, of this district deserve better than what they're getting. And I'm not sure what your focus is, Mr. Faltzgraf, but it's not on the kids in this district. And if your goal is to implode this district, then you're almost there. And the reason it hasn't completely imploded is because some of our amazing staff are holding it together. Some of who were here not long ago stating they can't do this another year like the years past. So when you make your little videos talking about yourself and other people in puzzles, think about that.
Thank you, Ms. Dawson. The next speaker, Pamela Wolter.
Grandma walks careful, okay? Because I don't have these. The first thing I've got is a community announcement about the high-speed rail. Some of you know I've been the chairperson for the Acton Agua Dulce against the high-speed rail for unbelievably 12 years now. We were contacted 2 weeks ago by the High-Speed Rail Authority. They are now telling us that this time they're really going to be coming out with the draft DIR. They suspected it'll be coming out either the end of this month or into September. At which time they will then come and meet. They will bring the engineers and all the people that we've dealt with in the past to present to us which one is maybe their preferred route. We still don't know what their preferred route is. We do know that they've researched and done some more work on five of the routes off the top of my head, which practically threw all of us people that have worked on this on the ground. Because we've got thousands, I'm going to say 1,000 hours into the research of the past routes, and we have researched them extensively. I had a whole team of people, and each team took a certain part of the high-speed rail problem, the sound, the vibration, the construction of the route. So at this point, folks, we don't even know if it's still going to be the preferred route, which is the north side of CR Highway and supposedly underground. So we don't know. At which time they said, when the draft comes out, they're going to give us about 2 weeks to review it. The team, the town councils, Acton and Agua Dulce, they will then come out with the engineers and meet with us. I'm sorry, I said that a little confusing. And then sometime in October, there will be a public meeting held at the junior high school again, for the public to see what we're getting presented from the Palmdale to Burbank route. I don't really have any details. I'm in constant contact with our specific contact. She's been our contact for about 5 years now. So That's all I've got to say on that, but I'd really like everybody to understand that when it does come, we're gonna need help. If in fact that is not the preferred route any longer, then it could be one of those other routes. Then we're starting over. We're starting with vibration and sound and construction and dirt and all the things. And just remember, this is very close to our high school, very, very close to our middle school. And the proposed construction site for the, I'm gonna call it a tunnel. It's not really a tunnel. I'm going a little blank here. But that is how they're going to start. It is on Cedral between junior high and high school. If they will be digging down, I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever looked at the boring machines that they use to do this kind of construction. I've seen them because of my family construction history. They're huge and there's a tremendous amount of dirt that'll be coming off of there. We don't know how they're going to access off the freeway because we've told them that an access off Crown Valley does not work. It's too close to the middle school. We're very concerned about a lot of these things. But I will be reaching out when this does come, if in fact, because we've been told about every 2 months, it's going to be coming out the draft. Well, it's not here yet, and this is what she told me 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you have any questions. If you do, please call me. Probably most of you know my phone number or how to reach me. My other situation is my disappointment with what's happening with our school district. I really don't have time to get involved. I honestly don't. We've got so many problems in our community already, just like with the water line that's going from Red River Mine Road to Aqua Dulce with the 68 new construction homes. We've got NOVs that are being, notice of violations that are being filed in our community against people that the county is aggressively going after, but yet not giving them options of how to remove the NOVs to satisfy the county. We've got people personally that I know that have had to tear down a building, a beautiful building, a 40 by 60 metal building. They bought the house with it. It was not permitted. The county gave them no options. They made them tear it down. As a contractor, as a developer, as a realtor, that sickens me. And I don't understand why the county is doing these kind of things. So that's another problem that we as the Acton Town Council face. We're all volunteers. We don't get a dime for this. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for certain people on that council, and I'm sure you know who they are, we'd all be in deep trouble. So when I look at the school board, I go, I can't do anything anymore. My motivation isn't the same as it was when the junior high was built, because my grandkids lived here and they were just little squirts then. Well, they moved to Mammoth because of my son's company up there. And so they're 13 and 16 now, but I worked my head off. I don't want to repeat all this stuff to make sure that that junior high got off to a good start. We did fundraisers like crazy. And now I look at it, and I was on the board for ASMO for a few years. Did all kinds of fundraisers there. I volunteered in the classrooms. I did whatever I had to do to make these schools be successful, because as a realtor, I know that if we do not have a strong school district, our community will not have much going for it. What would make people want to come here? All retired people? No, they don't. So here's where I'm upset. I'll try to hurry. For the past 2 years, I've in the distance watched what's going on here. These are the things that have greatly disturbed me. 2 years ago, I came to a meeting and there was a gentleman there who said that he had a problem with his son, and he asked the superintendent to get back to him. I personally asked the superintendent to call me because I wanted to know what happened to that child. I got no return call. And I'm not going to chase you. If you're not doing your job, I'll just tell everybody you're not doing your job. And if you think I don't have a really large sphere of influence in this town, kid yourself all you want. I couldn't understand the vaping that was allowed in the bathrooms. I couldn't understand the locked bathroom doors. Are you kidding me? I couldn't understand why we weren't hiring teachers to replace the teachers that quit in the middle of the year. We were underpaying our people that were coming in to substitute. And now I'm hearing on the streets today from a resident that our bus drivers are leaving because they're not getting paid enough. What's going on, guys? I get it, you don't have to talk to me right now. But somebody better start talking to me. Because if I don't hear something very, very quickly, then I'll be going down to Alhambra tomorrow, wherever the hell it is. And sign myself up so I can get my sorry butt up here and show you how we're gonna run it. I know I sound like a witch and you're like, why don't you just go home, old lady? Oh, I don't have a husband anymore and my son died. So I can take you on. And I appreciate those of you that have fought and tried to keep the principle that everybody in this town said they wanted. Everybody. I didn't hear one bad word about that man. And yet you voted to get rid of him. You don't have to explain it to me. You don't. But I will explain it to the community in a way that I've done for the 32 years that I've been here. I will explain it to everybody. And I will start repulse and I will do whatever I've got to do to protect this community. This is my home. I'm not going anywhere. I should, but I'm not. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms.
I
Wolf.
expect a phone call.
And the last one is a virtual. Alex, do you have the? So the virtual comments not available? Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Moving on. Number 6B, Golden Spotlight, Dr. Zaki.
Yes, sir. We will resume our golden spotlight.
Sorry.
It's not Mr. Sparks tonight, but you never know. But we'll resume our golden spotlight recognition starting with our August 25th board meeting. So, thank you.
Okay. All right, here we go. Correspondence and reports. Ada representative.
Good evening, Sheldon Sparks, had a president. Good to see you guys. Been a long summer, or short summer, depends on your perspective. Last meeting, one of the board members asked to hear some positives and some good things about this district. And today, the last week, I saw a lot of good things happening. I saw life returning to campus. I saw kids getting registered. I saw kids getting their books checked out, checking out their PE clothes. Excitement to be back on campus with no mask and no COVID hanging over our head. Staff members who are new, a lot of transition in the district, stepping up and doing their job and doing it well. Are we perfect? No, we're not perfect. But we're committed to what we do and how we do it. And so last couple of weeks, I'm very impressed with the commitment of our certified and classified. In spite of some of our relationships, this is an awesome place to work. And it's because of the community, it's because of the people we serve. It was nice to see everybody starting to return back to campus and without the COVID. One of the things that this district does very well is train its employees. Since I've been here, I've been to dozens of trainings. I've been to AP training multiple times. I've been to AVID training. AVID is a wonderful program. And so my hat's off to whoever brought that in. I think it's going to make a huge difference. We're offering it to all freshmen. That will be a measurable, definable, tangible evidence to see if what we're doing is working or not working. And so I'm looking forward to that. The other thing this district does is teach us with technology, from Arudo to Apex to Aries to just all the things that have been offered since we've been through COVID. We still use those and utilize those programs and those platforms. And I know that costs money, and I see you investing into students and into the community, and that's a positive thing. I see, athletics. That's my purview, and I'm so excited about junior high. We're gonna have a normal season this year. We have volleyball practicing, we have cross-country practicing, we have good coaches in those positions, coaches who are committed. They make peanuts. I know we gave them a stipend, but literally they make peanuts on the dollar and so, or on the hour. And just doing that job takes a commitment. And so we have good coaches who are there. We're starting football. Football had a little bit of a hiccup, and we got the right coach in there finally. And I will stand 1,000%. He was my guy. I'm so glad he's there. We went from 4 players at a practice to 28 players plus freshmen who are saying they want to sign. That's what one guy can make a difference in the community. And so I understand that you make decisions, and sometimes those decisions, I always keep telling you, have ripple effects. And you don't always see, okay, if we plug in this coach here, okay, how's it going to play out? No, that's our guy. He's polished, he's professional, he knows it. Okay, he's not our guy because the kids don't know him, the kids don't trust him. And so hiring good people and getting out of the way still remains my mantra. Speaking of that, Dr. Chamberlain, after all the craziness that happened in June, the last day of school, 5 minutes after graduation, a lot of disappointment, a lot of disgruntled community members. I told you it's not going to go away, and it's not. It's going to linger, whether you believe that or not. After all that craziness, in spite of all the difficulties, Adam members remain committed to our job. We're professionals and we're committed to do it well. When we step on campus and we are, lack of a better word, serving our community, understand that they are our customers. Dr. Chamberlain came in and we already had a type staff that she's professional. She's no nonsense. She's going to hold people accountable. She has a relationship with Dr. Sahaki. They've worked in the past before. He trusts her. You hire a good person. Get out of the way. Let's see what happens. And I don't mean that pridefully. I don't mean that like it's my kingdom. This is my world. You have to fight. I'm just telling you that that's just human nature. We're in education. We're not in the military. We're not on the football team. It's not my way or the highway. It's got to be collaboration. It's got to be all of us pulling in the same direction. And so, Mrs. Jensen, I want you to know, thank you for everything that you've given. And I know I came hard at the crew last time I was here. The one I felt most guilty about was you, because I know how much you give to this community, and I just want you to know you have my respect. Okay, I mean no disrespect to any of you. Okay, forgive me, I'm passionate. This is what I do for a living. I work 16-hour days. I'm committed, just like you are. And so sometimes we're not going to see eye to eye, and sometimes I'm going to confront you, and sometimes you're going to confront me. That's how it's been since I've been here, and I'm starting my 7th year. So anyways, looking forward to it. Adam members are looking forward to it. It's going to be a fantastic year. Our numbers have increased. So I was here, this is my 7th year. My first year was the highest numbers of students. My understanding is, I could be wrong, and I don't want it to be a misnomer, that we are too shy of 1,000. So it's 998 students in the district. Okay, my understanding is that we have classes bursting at the junior high school. There's 42 classes, have 40 kids in the 7th grade. We'll deal with that, in person, but that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have. We've hired teachers. We've restored some of the performing arts. Thank you for that. I thank you for that. You know how important that is to some of our kids. You know the type of kids that responds to. I know that's been on your heart, and thank you for doing that. Mrs. Owens is through the roof about it, so you made her smile. So again, there's a lot of positives going on. So appreciate each and every one of you. Election time's coming up in November. A lot of names that are familiar that are still on that. A lot of names that are not. I didn't see your name on there, sir. And, anyways, if you don't sign up, I just want you to know, thank you. Appreciate your hard work. This is not an easy job. For the rest of you, I'll see you guys in the trenches.
Item 6B, CSEA representative. Be sure to state your name for the record. I want to make sure who you are. Alex, you need to make sure technology is working.
Well, it's all the way up.
Good evening, I'm Cesar Ortiz, president of our CSEA chapter 473. Just wanted to give some updates and say a few things. We currently have a full e-board, including job steward and new site reps. Our vice president is Marvet Topic here. Our secretary is Maria Romano. Our treasurer is Amy Catalan. Our job steward is Amy Frank. Site reps include Brittany Bleimer at Metal Art, Amy Holbert at High Desert, and Mervat at Vasquez High School. It's been some time since we've had good and consistent representation from CSEA. Our new labor relation representative, Chris Fujioka, has been extremely helpful and responds quickly to our calls and emails. So we're happy to have him. Yesterday, we had a great PD day. Almost all classified members showed up. We organized breakout groups based on the job classification to try to deliver targeted PD. We have also been working to cultivate great relationships with our classified employees. We are also happy to be working with the district and superintendent's office to provide additional collaborative training for classified staff. As you know, we have sunshine in the district and are looking forward to positive dialogue with the district during negotiations. We would like to thank our superintendent for helping make classified staff a priority, so we can feel that we are an important part of the district. We look forward to a great year. Thank you for your time and.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. We haven't signed, we haven't had elections for student rep yet. Okay. Item D, superintendent, the gold standard report.
Thank you, Mr. Jorgensen. Before I go into the superintendent report, we do have a community-minded announcement. Mr. Alex, thank you. You see the flyer there, and for those watching at home, the flyer is up on your screen. The Agua Dulce Women's Club is proud to announce the Kick Up the Dust Agua Dulce Country Fair and Parade, which is scheduled for September 17th. And for more information, you could contact parade chairs, Ms. Rosie Heffley and Cheryl Bromley, and there's information there. And if anybody wants additional information, Ms. Yolanda McCauley, my executive assistant, could provide you that information. Thank you to the Agua Dulce Women's Club for providing this information to us. All right, tonight we'll be covering following strategic initiatives from student achievement, effective instruction and leadership, and utilization of fiscal capital. Mr. Alex, thank you. See a beautiful photo there of our AVID site teams. The district AVID team photo that you see was taken over the summer at the annual AVID Summer Institute. We have representation from all of our 3 sites. Thank you and kudos, big kudos to the site teams for the dedication and time over summer. Once a month, we'll be highlighting a district initiative, a signature program. To kick things off this month, we'll highlight AVID for our community. To get this started, I'd like to bring up Ms. Stephanie Council, teacher on special assignment, to provide us an overview of AVID, as well as the team's efforts over the summer leading up to the fantastic PD that was held yesterday. Ms. Council, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hockey, for asking me to come and speak to the board about AVID. AVID is going to be a wonderful, wonderful program in our district. It was me and several teachers, administrators, and counselors that went to Anaheim this summer for 3 days, and it was fabulous. And so I'll just like to take a few minutes to talk about exactly what AVID is. So AVID is an acronym, and it stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And so this year, we're going to implement AVID at all 3 school sites, starting by kindergartners, going all the way up to our 12th graders. And each site developed their own goals. And so the Metal Art goals will feed into High Desert, and High Desert goals will feed into Vasquez. So we all working together to make sure that our students are being prepared for post-secondary, okay? So who is the avid student? The avid student are those students who are B and C students. And, mainly, they need the extra support to go to college. They want to go to college, but they need that extra support to go to college. In the classroom, they'll learn how to note take, organization skills, the binder and planner, problem solving skills, advocacy skills. And so that's what is going to be so exciting for our students when they graduate from Vasquez High School. Even as a little kindergarten, they're going to learn how to do these things, okay? So at Vasquez High School, we're going to enroll every single ninth grader in AVID, every ninth grader. The 10th through 12th graders, the teachers there will teach them the AVID strategies, WICR. And WICR stands for writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. And so every month we'll focus on one of those letters for the month to focus on. So when a 10th grader goes to their next class, the teacher will be focusing on whatever letter we decided to focus on that month. Okay. And basically that's AVID. We are preparing our students here, starting at kindergarten, for post-secondary, because we've seen that our seniors, our juniors, they have no idea what they want to do when they leave high school. And so we're going to start them early, thinking about post-secondary. And we're very excited about it. And so thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Council. Appreciate your time. Thank you, and to your team and to your leadership for AVID. Thank you.
I think if they want to have you back up because we have some questions for discussion. We'll start with Ms. Jensen.
Thank you so much. I know AVID's a big endeavor, and to take on, I don't know that everybody in the audience or the member of the committee would realize that to take on AVID is a big deal, but to take on AVID for all the students starting in kindergarten, first year out, that's huge. So thank you so much. I know it's a lot of work.
It is, but you know what? I love it.
Yes, I can tell, and that's, you're gonna be the perfect person that is their hearts into it, and to do all the worker strategies and everything is fantastic. So thank you for your time. And I did make comments of, I don't remember when it was, over the summer, about this great picture. I know you guys were in the paper and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it was very exciting. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And it made me happy to see how happy you guys were to be at AVID. All of you guys were smiling. So it's without a mask on.
Yes,
This is so
we had a
great to
fabulous
see.
time.
So thank you. And thank you for your time, because when you go to the AVID training, it's a lot of work. You work hard when you go to AVID. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have no idea what AVID is. But what I do know, Ms. Council, is I've known you for 10 years. I've seen you in the role of a charter school administrator, a highly respected charter school administrator. I've seen you as a teacher. I've seen you filling in as a teacher. I know your administrative capacities. I've seen you make significant forward progress in SPED programs that were marginal at best to begin with. And I see the work you do as a resource person here, and your experience at all those different levels means that you know how to bridge to staff that in ways that most people don't. And you're very humble in your efforts. I've always appreciated you as a professional.
Thank you.
That's rare. That's no puzzle in some video.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
I do want to thank you and your whole team for all of the work that you have done into training to prepare to let our kids live in the AVID world, because it is definitely when I first started at the school that I work at, our students all have AVID. It's their elective and they don't get a choice. They all have AVID. I've been lucky enough to sit in an AVID room, and it's not just AVID in that classroom only, it's AVID on the campus. And in this district, we're lucky that it's going to be AVID in our entire district. And I say that because AVID teaches those tools to help a student succeed in every other class and in their future. And it gives them the tools to carry on every period of the day into home, into their homework, into the way that they live their life. It's the tools to make them successful in life, not just in that one Avid class. So they will be living in Avid, and I want to thank you for bringing that to our students. It's huge, very exciting.
Thank you.
I'll echo Brianna's sentiments. I agree with everything she had to say. I want to say thank you for being involved in bringing this program to the forefront. It's going to be fun to watch these kids grow and learn leadership and move forward. So I'll keep it brief, but thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to have Avid return back to our district. And when I first started here in 2000, it was at High Desert, and we brought it up to Vasquez. And I remember my ninth graders coming in, and they already had some sense of organization and how do I prepare for my classes regardless of content. And through my entire 18 years, even when Avid had to leave, I kept the same organization, because staff will realize how their effectiveness in the classroom, they get organized just like their students get organized. And it helps them project, like Ms. Taxoni said, about thinking about where they want to go. And one of the highlights that I think I really like to assess, and I know Ms. Jensen knows this because I had all 4 of her children in my class, that the one thing about note taking, because note taking is critical for thinking, for preparing for final assessments, for demonstrating knowledge of content that was exposed in the classroom. And on the left-hand side, they got to ask questions when they heard something. Oh, I don't understand that. Well, okay, write a question. What is your level 1, 2, or 3 question about what you just heard or what you just learned? And then the fun one at the bottom, at the end, it says, okay, now at the bottom, I said, tell me something you know now that you did not know at the beginning of this lesson. And you just watch their brains start working, and they say, well, I didn't realize that's perfect. So it's capturing them and getting them into it. I used it throughout. All my students had it. They knew it. They understood it. We loved it. We had a great time with it. I built that folder, their files that they did with them, and that productivity. So I thank you for your high energy, bringing that back and helping it. I'm pleased that we're doing it at Meadowlark, at High Desert, and then so the students, by the time they get there, by the time they graduate, I still do it offhand. I'll take notes and I'll draw lines on paper, just like I'm doing when I'm taking a Zoom meeting with my college students. And I'm saying, okay, get organized. It's efficiency and knowledge, and it's that confidence boost for the students. So I think this is another contribution, another program that we're adding this year that's going to be adding to the, hey, I'm send my kids to Vasquez and to High Desert and to Meadowlark, because the kids are going to go home and talk about what they know, and they would share that knowledge at the end of the lesson, at the end of the note taking, and then they would go back and brag to their parents. Well, I asked this question and I understand this. No, so they engage their parents. It's just exceptionally, it's a fun class to be in and to watch them blossom. So thank you to you and the staff and all the teachers that are going to participate. They're going to find that their classroom is going to be far more efficient, because they're going to learn. They go to the PD, they know the content, but now they can, how can I present this in a more challenging way for my students to help them grow? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're back to you, Dr. Saki.
Yes. So moving forward with effective instruction and leadership, I know that Cesar Ortiz and Mr. Sheldon Sparks actually mentioned some highlights from our district-wide PD days that were held yesterday and today. It was quite successful. Some of the areas covered during PD, got some pictures here for you. Science textbook adoption review, of course, Avid, Branching Minds, Aludo, and CPR. Plenty of positive feedback received from many of our certificated staff and classified staff in terms of the PD. Topics were very timely and very thoughtful. So thank you to the PD teams for your diligence in putting this together. The Aludo planning team consisted of Alexa Lepp, Nicole Salcedo, Michelle Van Ornum, Ms. Kim Shah. The Branching Minds team consisted of Alexa Lepp, Nicole Salcedo, Kim Shah, Candice Palacios, Ms. Jana Largent, Tiffany Peseta, Bambi Ballesteros, and Ms. Stephanie Council. Thank you to the Avid team of Ms. Stephanie Council and Jana Largent for their efforts at PD. For our classified sessions, Thank you, Miss Amy Frank, Miss Amy Catalan, and Cesar Ortiz. And of course, our phenomenal M&O maintenance crew in our IT department. We can't do what we do without you. Thank you. Last but certainly not least, thank you to the following individuals who made sure that our staff was very well taken care of and tummies were full for breakfast and lunch. We're extremely grateful. Miss Yolanda McCauley, Vanessa Mora, Shiloh Villaseñor, Linnea Galbraith, Eddie Romano, Jordan S., Lee Jennings, Tracy Costin, and the VHS PTSO. So thank you for making it successful. Moving forward, not to fiscal capital, but it's all right. Dr. Paula Chamberlain graciously served Vasquez High School as their interim principal in the fall of 21. She also served most recently as the interim summer school principal, both at Vasquez and Meadowlark this past summer, where she worked together with the teachers and staff to support the learning opportunities for our students. Pending board approval tonight, Dr. Chamberlain has been selected to serve as Vasquez High School's principal. Dr. Chamberlain comes to us with over 9 years of AMIN experience, elementary principalship, secondary principalship. Given her time at Vasquez High School, Dr. Chamberlain firmly believes that the Vasquez High School staff cares truly about their students and their successes and are willing to go the extra mile to ensure their success both emotionally and academically. So pending board approval, I want to welcome Dr. Chamberlain this evening. In addition, switching gears a little bit here, thank you to our board for approving a contract with Leadership Associates a couple of months back in support of reviewing, assessing, and updating our district strategic plan. With the guidance of Mr. Jim Brown from Leadership Associates, the oversight team met this week to review timeline to engage our community stakeholders as we go through this time-intensive process. As part of this process itself, we look to review the current plan in place, celebrate accomplishments of the district, assign performance measures, which is quite critical, to an updated plan as a whole. Such measures are what a superintendent's performance is measured on as well. More information is to come as we move forward with this process. A formal introduction of this important work will soon be out to our community stakeholders. So thank you. All right, fiscal capital. Last May, I had shared that the statewide student enrollment in the K-12 public education setting is moving in a downward spiral. This follows a steady decline in public school enrollment statewide since 2014-15. I'm thrilled to report our fall enrollment numbers as of today is at 993. Last year, this time we were at 954. We still have quite a few families that have started the online enrollment process, which is a new feature to the district, that have yet to complete the full registration process. They are being reached out by our phenomenal office staff, and some we have here at Vasquez, from Vasquez, so thank you. They're being reached out for additional guidance support if any needs that they might have to finish the registration process. We've had an influx of inter-district permits from students coming into our district from neighboring districts for signature programs and for another variety of reasons. I don't like to prove people wrong, but I just have to brag a little bit. Davis Demographics Report, which came out and presented virtually their final report in terms of the short-term and long-term projections for the district. They had us at an attrition, and their projection for our fall 2022 enrollment was at 902. Again, as of today, we're at 993. I know we're going to be hitting the 1,000 mark. This concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zahakian. The COVID-19 reports, Dr. Zahakian.
Yes, sir. Last week, there were 23 cases of COVID in the Acton Agua Dulce surrounding areas. Over the summer, we have 14 staff members test positive. Test kits are available at each site for consumption by our parents and our families, and of course, students if needed. On Tuesday this week, the health team had set up their first vaccine clinic at High Desert Middle School, where there was Tdap, HPV, and COVID immunizations available. Our next clinic will be held on August 30th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the district office NPR. I'd like to reiterate, masks are not required in the classroom. OSHA still has a requirement for unvaccinated staff to be COVID tested weekly, but they are now able to conduct a self-read COVID test at home, and they just upload that test result to our health services platform, primary health platform for review. And that concludes the COVID report. Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Dr. Saki. 8A, board comments, Ms. Jensen.
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Sohaki, and I've been asking you, I called today, like, what's the enrollment numbers? I'm dying to get to 1,000. I don't know what, I'm gonna bring cupcakes or something. We're doing some kind of celebration. Yes, we're gonna do some kind of celebration when we hit 1,000. So I'm about ready to get some of those Vasquez pom-poms out of my daughter's stuff and get out there at McDonald's and start doing some kind of cheer, but I don't know, maybe they would be scared away. I don't know. So I'm really looking forward to that. I do some of the comments about enrollment. I think it's important to point out, and so that people don't take it lightly, that enrollment is really low all over. This is not something that is should be taken lightly. In a small district like ours, to go from a projection of 902 to 993 is huge. So we only need a few more, but let's get those kids enrolled. I did see someone that works for the district and I said, hey, how are you doing? And I wasn't asking about anything to do with the district, just in general, how are you? And she said, and I quote, I'm exhausted from enrolling so many kids. It just made my day. So very excited, but why is this happening? Why do you think everyone's coming? So let me just give you a list of some things that we've done recently. So despite some of the negative stuff that we're hearing, let's talk about some of the things that are bringing students to our district. We have to have a strategic plan so that we're all going in one direction, so that people aren't advocating for their own programs, that we're working in unison and working as one. Thank you for having the strategic plan committee this week. That meant a lot, because once again, I'm going to advocate, no matter what, that we are having one plan so everybody knows what they're working towards, one common goal. This allows people to have voice of what they'd like to see in our school district, programs that we'd like to have. And I'm asking now that we have some initiatives, but now we need to have tasks with timelines so that we can give some deliverable and so that we can express that to the community. So some of the things will be done, and unfortunately, I mean, I'm an educator, so I know how huge this is, and unfortunately, maybe some people don't, but I'm hoping they'll listen tonight. So here's just a few things that we've done, which, by the way, big districts maybe might be able to do one or two of these if they're lucky in a year. We've just done it in a short time. I say we because we're all a team. Project Lead the Way, Paxton Patterson, LA County Arts Collective, bringing the arts back to our schools with an action plan. So we have a plan. Avid, not for the high school, Avid district wide. We have ABC dual enrollment, so our kids could get credits. A makerspace that's coming so we can do hands-on science and projects at our elementary school that will happen in September. Paper online tutoring, 24/7 tutoring for our students. Career connections, CTE electives. And we have, of course, the cadets and the elective happening there. We have used our strategic plan that needs some updating and some things, but we have a billboard, we're marketing, we're branding. So I think that our branding is working. I think that we have some signature programs, and I think that we have a lot to celebrate and be proud of in our community. We have leadership despite people didn't understand, ask questions, maybe give us opportunities to have conversation, things that we can't talk about. We will continue to move on. One thing I don't want to overlook is that we had AP scholars, and unfortunately, those AP scholars' names came out during the summer, so I don't want to forget them, and I want to thank Nicole Salcedo. She sent out an email to all of us. We have Adam Frank. We have Diego Galvez. We have Ashley Hinkle. We have Emily Pulo. We have Haley Rudd. And we have Amanda Ames that had that with distinction. We are a small community. We are a small town. We have small schools. 1,000 students is a very small district. We have a lot of AP scholars for such a small community. We have huge programs for such a small community. So I think that we need to continue to highlight our district and have conversation. And with all due respect, not make this about a campaign to say things that may or may not be true, that we have facts. We can ask our community to go look at our schools. We don't have to hear things on Facebook or rumors. People have to have a more deep understanding, and why don't they sort of look into what ADA actually means? And what does that look like all over? And understand what their message is when they say things that our people are leaving our community and not coming to our schools, because I think I just read some numbers that say they're coming. We have great schools, and I am an educator, and I will not apologize to anyone that I'm here for children, because I am. I'm here for our children. I'm here for our community. No, I won't be here much longer, but I'm here for children. I'll always be here for children. I make no apologies for that. Because this is what can happen when people are working together, have a strategic plan, have goals, and have common understanding of what's good for children. That we can, I just named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 programs that have recently started. So I say to our teachers, as people are saying our teachers aren't happy, I hope they are. Teaching is hard. Teachers aren't in it for the money. If they have a master's degree and they make barely anything, they can go do something else. You're hiring everywhere. We're getting to the point we could almost go do fast food and we could make more than we make in classrooms these days. It's getting crazy out there. You don't do this because of the money. You don't do this because of anything. You do this for children. There's just something in us that makes us do what we do. We get excited when we go to Walmart. We see the new crayons coming out. I don't know. We love new pens. We just get so excited. That time of year is coming. So I want all of our teachers to know that I appreciate them. And I don't want to go without saying Ed Services Professional Development, great job. I don't want to take that lightly. Do you know how nerve-wracking it is? Michelle will wink at me. Because you have to worry, is the technology going to work? Are the sign-ins going to happen? Do we have a message that everyone's going to like? Because people are critical sometimes. Is it worthwhile? Is it relevant? And then we have, of course, maintenance and operation. I have a huge list. Our schools look beautiful. That doesn't just happen. They have to mow. There's so much that goes on. Mowing lawns, making sure we have water, toilet paper, everything that these things have to happen. We have to make sure that we have our safety in place. We have to make sure our technology is in place. We have to make sure we have books. We have to make sure all of these things happen. So with all due respect, I'm also a community member. And this is also my community. And one that I'm proud of, one that I think is fantastic, but unfortunately kind of sucks the life out of you when things are said in social media that aren't true and you can't say anything, or you see your own community being mean to people and when they don't have all the facts, they don't ask the questions. I've never had a phone call asking a question. So come December, I'll be here and I'll still be here for children, and I'll be happy to share thoughts with people when I can. Yeah. Yes. And I just agree. I think it's important to have educators on your school board because they know what signature programs look like. They know how to put a strategic plan together. They know what teachers need. we can all disagree, but we need to start educating ourselves before we listen to rumors and start saying that things are wrong when things are right, and we need to ask those questions. So, thank you, Dr. Chamberlain. I'm excited for you. I think you know I'm going to vote yes by my comment just now. I'm sure you won't say because we're professionals, but I know it's difficult to walk in those shoes after everything that's happened. So I appreciate you stepping it up for our students. I see your smile. I know your heart's into it. Like I said, we're educators. We're strange people sometimes, the things that we love. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart for caring for our children. And I appreciate everyone for everything that you've done, getting ready for the school year. And I think that's all I have to say for tonight. So thanks everyone, and have a great first day of school. And I appreciate all the work you've done.
I'm going to make a movie now. There's a movie here and I might try to make a lot of puzzles. You want to be on it? Here you go. Okay. Why am I talking about 6 years ago? 6 years ago. Gee, that's when I hit the board. That's when I was being slammed in the Acton Town Council meeting about why I was so anti-charter. Because I knew, I'm not psychic. I don't pay for my street to be paved and have it done in San Bernardino. I'm a government servant. I know how taxpayer dollars are spent. We were under investigation by the state auditor. 3 schools were one of them. That doesn't make you a winner where I come from. It makes you a loser. It was just a matter of time before it shut down. That's why I said we need to reduce dependence on out-of-boundary charters because the money was going to dry up. Dead people were saying, it's not going to work, Ken. Was that a puzzle? Sorry, it was inappropriate. But then I said, hey, restore focus on local students. Why did I say that? Because when you're not earning your money, you don't care that much. Here, lay on the couch. You're 30 years old. You've run up $200,000 with student debt. I'll keep paying. I don't have kids like that because I tell them what's going on. So pay attention to your local kids. Then finally, here's the big one. Restore the reputation of this district in the greater educational marketplace. Why did I say that? Because everybody was suing us. Newhall is still sending us their little pamphlets. Come to our school. Why? Because it's our school. Okay, that's great. I like that. I'm going to drive all the way over there because you're still upset because your lawyer didn't take another $450,000 away from our kids. Yeah, when it's time to get in the trenches, yeah, I will see you in the trenches. I'll see you in the court trenches. That's where I'm good. And now we got AV College. We got everybody running. Here, let me help you. Let me help you. Because we're not rogue anymore. We don't have a bad reputation. And people want to enjoy our success. And in fact, in other schools, there are administrators saying, maybe you're not doing well here. Maybe you would do better over in Acton where it's a little bit quieter. It's not so important that you're, Mr. Football or anything like that. That's what's happening. So bash me, go ahead. Yeah, the movies, I'm sorry. There's a narcissist population that begs me to make sure that they watch my movie and they see it's not all about you. It's not all about me. But if I'm tagging you on something and you come in here and announce it, I guess that makes me right. I don't know. Whatever you think, I don't care. When I came in here, I sat out in that audience. I'm stupid enough to come in here and fix it. They put me in the LA Times over what I did with charters. Look it up. Do they not have internet access at the library, wherever these meetings are held, where you bash me? Come on, there's a line to bash me. Get in it. This is very long, very long. There's 50,000 people. I don't know, are you bashing me? If you're not, I wouldn't be talking.
I didn't. I didn't
Good.
ask you, but you just.
Good. What? Good, okay, if that's what you think, go tell everybody that. Yeah, give me an order. But the bottom line, no, I'm out of order. I apologize to you. I got a comment for you that will apply specifically to you and your value to this community when I get to it. Don't expect somebody's gonna come in here and bash me because I stood up and said, we need to earn our own money. Guess what happened? What's the enrollment? I still think you fixed the numbers. I think you called it low. Whatever, I think it doesn't matter. You ran the numbers up, whoever ran the numbers up. Do you know what 100 kids does to the budget? Can anybody tell me? It's $1 million. The first year he was here, we had $4 million of charter revenue. How much revenue have we made off of charter in the last 2 years besides zero? And I'm gonna go through the warrant register, we're getting money back too. But at the end of the day, he come in here, there's $2.3 million back on the table, no charter revenue. He just gave me back $1 million. I want that other $3 fast, dude. Talk about that. All right, now off to the pleasant things. Thank you, whoever took the cash registers out of the lunchroom. Do you know what it's like to stand in line and be one of the kids that gets free and reduced lunch? And the other kids, you know what it's like to stand behind somebody at the grocery store that used to pull out food stamps and having to separate their stuff. Whoever decided to do this, whoever asked everyone to fill out a form, some of us don't qualify. That makes us fortunate. Others do not. But that right there restores dignity to every child in the school district. That's really important to me. Very important to me. Dr. Chamberlain. I'm the SPED parent, remember? I know about every way to make $1 off of SPED there is because I've seen everybody try to do it. SPED is underfunded to the tune of 75%. So even in the best times, SPED gets 25% of what they need. The rest of it comes out of the general fund. It's my job to make sure that there's compliance so we don't have excess bleed off over the 75%. And I appreciate the graciousness of the community that allows that 75% to be given to the people who are most vulnerable in our community. I very much appreciate that. But Ms. Chamberlain, I had the opportunity to visit a SPED room. For the first time in my life, I saw every SPED person, every SPED child, and every SPED aide in one room with Ms. Chamberlain playing a guitar. There were so many eligibilities in that room. You know what eligibilities are? I need speech science pathology. I have severe emotional issues. Use that for an excuse, that one's good. I have intellectual disabilities. I have severe medical needs. I have triggers. I have everything that's triggering me all the time. I have all these kids in one room and everybody was calm. Everybody. That's community. And for the first time in a long time, I don't think you violated everybody's civil rights day one or day any. Write that one down. Oh, I think I have the best group fake smile photograph I have ever seen. The Kmart Family Photo Center, you know, sit there. The staff development team. Yeah, it looked real. It was so real. It looked real. Was it real?
Which one?
There's 3. Any of them. Yeah, tell me, Miss T. I'm not supposed to engage you. Call me to order. Okay. No, not everybody knows I'm not up here campaigning. I want somebody to take this so I don't have to get beat up every week. I'll go through withdrawals, but hey, people, our associations have a say-so in what type of training they'll have and what they find acceptable and was valid or not. So not only are they going, but they're participating in choosing what's critical to them. That's an unspoken. No one's sitting up here telling you what to do. I don't even know what you should do. It's just my job to make sure nobody steals your money. What else? I very much, going back to the SPED thing, there's a lot I'm not saying here. Listen carefully. I appreciate the support that the AV SELPA team has given this district when it comes to special education. Training, staff development. The staff knows what to do. We just got to be able to give them the tools that they need to do it. No one's suggesting that we should teach anybody what to do, but the AV SELPA is over there. And I think there's a region-wide presence sneaking up on you that I don't want to pop that bubble just yet. But I appreciate the work everyone is doing over there, especially helping people to understand IEPs and making it just a process instead of a riddle. What else do I have here? Pam, I'll get to you first. Pam, my concern,
Yes.
and you know what my concern is they're going to put this through here. And I know that you have worked for far more than a decade, knowing that you can't stop it, knowing that, and putting your personal feelings aside, the train runs right through your house. Okay, well, good. It runs through mine.
No, it doesn't.
Well, thank you. That was the point. That was a riddle. I made a movie. So, but the point is, you have put yourself, we're in a point where I know this is going to happen. It's my job to mitigate it, to have the least effect on the community. So putting it underground was the best we could get, unless you have a well or some other things. So I think they're going to figure that out. You still know that my concern is they got to daylight those things. I see the Wilshire Tunnel being that this machine that you're talking about, guys, is bigger than the width of this, that over there. It's huge. And it just chews up everything. There's all kinds of whatever's down there. My issue has always been the tailings that are going to be daylighted in the particulate in the air. That has always been my concern. And if it takes us to make I think I just told you, and it'll be on the internet. My concern about this is our kids are not breathing those tailings. And when you're going to daylight it near high desert school, I don't know how that can be avoided. I'm going to be very interested in their monitoring. There's not much else that I know about it. But I know about tailings and respiratory problems. Finally, I'm very disappointed. Mr. Sparks just gives me a much better go than tonight. And I was like, I didn't know what to do for the last 3 weeks. I didn't know what to think or say. And Mr. Sparks, you got to pick up the pace next time. But in all reality, I think Mr. Sparks gave us a couple indicators. Nobody sitting up here has a significant impact. I can pander to you and compliment you all day long. But you guys are the ones, you are bringing in the kids. And you just gave me $1 million back that I don't have to steal from some kid in San Bernardino who doesn't even know who I am. You all just gave me $1 million back. So you're the winner. I don't care. You guys are the winner. Thanks for the work you do. Is that it? That is it.
I will start by thanking Tracy and Tom and Pam for coming forward with your comments. Pam, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it every time you're here. We appreciate everything you do for our community. there's nobody that could take your place in all of the things that you do. If it wasn't for you, we'd already have a train running through, we'd be a mess. So, with all of your work that you've done with our schools, and for our community, and you're just amazing, and I thank you, and I know it's tireless, thankless work, so thank you very much for all of your time and dedication to our entire community. Mr. Sparks, he didn't hang out, and I didn't write down all of his comments that I wanted to speak of because I thought I would remember it, but now I feel like it was so long ago. I forgot everything except one thing I wanted to point out that he said he wants us, we're all pulling in the right direction. We're all pulling in the right direction. We're all, as a team in the whole entire district, pulling in the right direction. And I'll say it, we're pulling in the right direction for our kids. If we're not pulling in the right direction for our students, what are we here for? Not all of our jobs are directly related to students. Some of us are to support those that support our students and to support those that are supporting, and down the chain. But our reason for being here is to pull in the right direction for our students. The beginning of the year is always an exciting time. I was kind of nervous for this board meeting because I didn't know which way it was going to go. Is it going to be a downer board meeting or is it going to be an exciting board meeting? I feel like it started off exciting. I'm excited for this new school year. I'm excited that staff is excited because that trickles down to our students and that will pull all of the excitement in the right direction for our students and get them excited for our new upcoming school year. Caesar, a full e-board, that's exciting. It has been a long time and it's good to see you here. I feel like you're a stranger. We just see your photo all the time. It's amazing to see you here. I really hope you keep coming back because having a CSCA presentation is really awesome. And I'm really excited that you said the PD days were engaging for classified staff. In the past, it hasn't always been that way. We went into a room, it was a whole big training for all of staff. And then we separated and classified staff went into a room, we watched a YouTube video, and then we left, or we hung out, or I don't know, it wasn't exciting and it wasn't training, and we didn't get anything out of it. One year we were told, you guys don't really need to be here. We know you have a lot of work, which we did. You have a lot of work in the summertime and getting ready for school. Staff does have so much work to do. But it really felt more like they just didn't have anything planned. So for you to say that your PD days for classified staff were engaging, that's exciting. So everybody that was involved in that training, I know we've had this conversation before, and I stressed to you that I felt like classified staff got the short end of training. And I'm so thankful that that's not the case this year. So thank you. Thank you to all the PD. Thank you to whoever was involved in planning that training for certificated and classified. That's very exciting that all staff felt like PD was engaging. As far as ADA goes, having ADA rise is huge. That's so awesome. I'm going to be excited 2 weeks into the school year when the kids that don't show up and they've changed, but they didn't let us know that they've changed schools. And we're going to drop a little bit. I'm going to be excited when that number reaches 1,000. So into the school year, 2 weeks, that's the magic number after we've dropped the kids that don't show up. That's the magic number that I'm very excited to see hit 1,000. Let's party then. I know there was more, but it's not in my notes and it's gone. So I'm just very excited for staff to start. Oh, football's coming up. Shiloh, will you show us your shirt? One town, one school, one family. That is awesome. That is awesome. When I saw you, when we first walked in, your shirt gave me chills. I love it. That is our Mustang pride and it's our Acton and Agua Dulce pride. Let's build on that, one family. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Just want to say a quick thank you to the Costins for their kind words. Pam, Walter, as always, I appreciate you coming and keeping us informed. Your knowledge far exceeds the majority of people in this town. Coach Sparks, your class act is always, it's great to see you at the school and just being as engaged as you are on my remarks couldn't speak more highly of you. So Monday rolled around and the phone started ringing and the text messages started coming and everybody's like, oh, you're gonna run for the board, right? You're gonna run for the board. No, I I took on this 2-year position with nothing but pride and hope to move us all in the right direction and try to bring the community into a place where we could all communicate and talk and just grow. That was really my take on it. It wasn't to set policy. It wasn't to be some financial wizard or to be union guy or anything else. It's more to try to bring people together. And I don't know that I accomplished that. I got voted in. I got voted in by a lot of people. It was really great. A lot of people believed in me. A lot of people supported me. A lot of people pushed me to get here. But it was a 2-year spot, and I'm kind of a term limits person. My 2 years is up. It's time for somebody fresh to come in here. All of these positions should rotate, and there should be fresh blood coming in here. Because I think when you get somebody in here for too long, things just become a certain way, whether it's this organization or a political organization in our government. You have to roll people through. I wasn't sure if I was going to run or not. I was sitting on the couch Sunday night, kind of pondering things, life. I kick on the old phone and start surfing because the kids are off running, doing what they're doing, and Dad's sitting all by himself going, okay, now what do you do? So I'm flipping through the old interwebs and I start reading stuff and hearing stuff. And I thought to myself, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself out there? I have nothing to gain for it. It's often talked here. What's your legacy going to be? My legacy is not going to be on the school board. It has nothing to do with the school board. My legacy is my 2 young sons that I've raised. And what are they going to become? What are they going to do with themselves? How are they going to treat people? That's my legacy. This has nothing to do with the school board. I'm here for my community because I love my community. I've been here since 1994, and I'm going to be here until I retire in 15 years. And then you're going to see Chad eastbound. Gone. So look, I came here with nothing but the best intent, love for everyone, wanting to hopefully bridge a community that had been just lost. They weren't really sure where the board was prior to me getting here. And I don't know that they know any more now than they did then, because I don't go out and openly speak about stuff. I've had candid conversations in different places, and there's been stuff talked about, but nothing that happens back there has gone out there. So here I am. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people want me to keep going, but it's time for somebody else to come up here and take this spot. There's so many talented people in this town. I wish more people would come out and get involved and stay engaged. Not only come out when it's a hot button item, but come out even when we have these boring meetings. Not that today's been boring, because there's a lot of positivity that's coming from it. I don't really want to drag it down. I shouldn't drag it down any more than we have, but just know that my intention was always for the best for this community, and I'm proud to serve. And where my kids go in life is what's important to me. My marriage to my wife, coming up on 25 years, is what's important to me. And getting drugged down in the mud on a school board is not important to me. So it's time for me to move on. I love you guys all. Let's talk about ADA. ADA is awesome. I mean, almost 100 people, 100 students. Good stuff. It's nothing but positive. Your shirt, she's right. It is awesome. I think I need one of those. Give me a 3X. I'll buy a couple of them. But I think generally speaking, I think this district is going in positive a positive direction. The programs and the services that we're starting to bring around, it's good stuff. There's nothing bad about it. We have on-site administrators that are rock stars. Miss Chamberlain, I met you 2022, she was here for, no, 21, at a football game. You engaged me. We had good conversation. You were open. Love that about you. You have my vote when that time comes. And I know you are capable and you are willing and you are a good thing for our school. I hope that you stay for many years to come. And I hope that maybe you'll even consider moving to our little community at some point in time in life. But thank you for being here. Thank you for taking on the challenge. Please continue to grow those community relations. That to me is the most important thing, is getting to know the community in which we serve. I've been blessed to meet a lot of people. I know a lot of people, and that's nice. It's good. It's nice to have that hometown feeling. So welcome. I'm rambling on now, so I'm going to stop. But I appreciate you guys cheering me on this whole time, and we'll see you somewhere else around town, I'm sure. Have a good night.
Okay, so there's several things that my colleagues said that are all true and very effective. So I'm not gonna try to repeat because I can't say it any better than they did. But let's get some of the, I want to comment on some of the busy work first. And he says, I'm looking over here at our business manager. One of the big things that's happened with the district is the resilience and our certification of the district with the county as a small district, coming out, recovering from all the debacles with our extended charter exposures and the COVID and all the programs and the grants. And you and your staff have done an exceptional job about getting us in a solid place and getting us prepared to last out for the minimum. That's unique for a small district because our resources are very limited. So I know that hard work, and you explained it to us so that we could have it in lay terms with all the fancy numbers and all the restrictions and the regulations and everything going with finding, because it's not a private business. You don't get to spend money how you want to. You got to spend it a certain way. And you were creative enough, and the leadership from the district staff to push you and let you go and let you run that office over there and get us back on track. So thank you to you and your staff for getting that done. Echoing what Ms. Jensen and my colleagues have said about programs, and I'm going to get to ADA when my turn comes around. The programs about building a school is about we're small and we're flexible and we can move and we can adapt. I work at Cal Bakersfield and I go to the big districts, and they're cleaning their sidewalks and their teachers, they're doing the same things we are, but they don't have that feel of being that I'm a part of the program. And that's what I like here is that the new programs that outlined by Ms. Jensen, and I want to highlight a few of them that I think are absolutely crucial to us because we do have limited facilities to offer elective opportunities for the students who aren't going to go to college. That I want to take a gap year. I want to go to work. I want to go to work with my folks. I want to start in business. I want to be whatever it is. We're here to meet every need of every student. And so electives has been a big push. We have the A through G. We have that when we have our AP students like Ms. Jensen recognized. And kudos to these students because 90% of the work was the students on their own teaching themselves because of COVID restrictions, teachers providing guidance. We have some exceptional staff, but then the students had to go out and prep and learn and prep and learn and prep and learn after hours on their own time, and then coordinating it with their teacher online, not in a classroom. And yet they scored 5. 5 is exceptional. You can go to any high school and there'll be a minuscule number of students at AP that will score a 5 on their AP test. We had 5 and we had 1 distinguished. The whole time before I retired, the best score I ever heard was a 4. And we had in-class teaching and we had good staff. So we know that the resilience of our students is there if we adults can help provide them opportunity and guidance. That we adults can, like you say, hire them, like Coach Spark said, hire them and get out of the way. Well, let's expose them to opportunities and then support them in their adventure. Avid's gonna do that. These programs are gonna do that. California Cadets. It's only gonna be for a handful of kids. But those handful of kids are just as important as the ones that are going out for the 28% of our population that are doing athletics. Those California cadet kids that want to wear that uniform, that want to think about leadership and character and integrity and ethics, we're teaching them. We're modeling for them. We're giving them the chance to experiment when they are learning rather than get out in the community and experiment and then have trouble with the law. We want them to be exposed and have all these opportunities to grow. When I first saw California Cadets over at Roseland on one of my student teachers, I go, what is that? I had no idea what it was. Dr. Zahakian followed it up and said, boom, here we got it. We added it to our program. That's another one. The Career Connections is one we've been trying to get for like 2 years. We finally got it on board. Again, it was another one of those ones where it's going to take that student who's not going to go to the University of California. They're not going to go to Brown University. They're not going to go to Cal State. They want to go to work. They want to know how to handle a hammer and drive a wheelbarrow. We're going to help them do that. And they're going to be just as successful community members as the one that's going to go straight to college. I remember when I was dean, I would run Saturday schools. I said, leave your cell phones at home. We're working today. And we learned how to pour concrete and build forms. And it was all about building the campus. All those concrete dots that you see at the corner of Red Rover and Escondido, the students did that on Saturday school. Left over from the football lines. They were cones, and we figured out how can we use these things. And the kids were learning how to do this stuff and having a great time and enjoying it. Where they study in their classroom, but when they come in here. So Career Connections and California Cadets is an exceptional program that I think is going to add to our ADA. I think kids are going to hear about it because our ambassadors are the students and their success. When they go out and they talk about it and they go to another school and they play a game and they're sitting around and they're charging their phones and they're sitting down at the end of the road, they're talking about what we do at our school. Your school? How do you do that? Okay, next year, maybe you want to transfer. Maybe these are some of the ones that we're getting there. So our students are the ones that we take care of. That's the only reason I'm here is for the students. I'm not here for the adults, sorry. I'm here for the students. So it has a valued interest to all of our kids, no matter what they want to go into cosmetics, if they want to go into physical therapy, if they want to do health careers, we're giving them opportunities. It may be only a half a dozen here, maybe 10 here, maybe 25 here. The 5, 10, 15, and the 20, each one of those students is valued and we're going to support them in that. And I think that's where we can extend and expose ourselves to the community, that they see our billboard when there's a traffic collision, they're going like, what's Vasquez High School? Oh, it's that school right over there. And we can capitalize on that by having them call the front office, call the school office where we have classified staff that are personable and they're meeting. Hey, how you doing? We're at Vasquez High School. Yeah, well, welcome. Public relations, and that's what our classified staff do. They make people feel welcome when they walk into the campus. We've done the security. We're getting the security to secure our students on the campus. So when they come in, they can feel safe and be comfortable. Their parents are going to be happy. And it all comes together. So the backbone of all this is our CSEA and our ADA employees. CSEA, I'm a teacher. I've been at it. I was a certificated. CSEA outperforms our teachers all the time. Who cleans our classrooms, who maintains the safety, sanitation, cleaning. It all comes back, and Pam knows this, about curb appeal. Our campuses look great. When people drive around our community, they're looking at a house to buy or whatever. Ooh, that's high. Well, look at that. We've got our signage up. We've got our things to let everybody know what we have here. And then they're asking questions. And I'm sure that as a realtor, she knows, well, what about your schools? And oh, come on, I'll take you over to the best guys. I'll take you over to High Desert. I'll take you to Metal Art. The California Distinguished School, schools to watch multiple times. Those are advertisements and promotions that we get to do that draw the kids to our small school. I was at Vasquez for 18 years, never wanted to leave because I wanted to know the students that I was meeting on the campus. I didn't want to bump into, you go to school here? Well, I don't know, there's so many kids. There's value in that. That's that single one, like she has on her t-shirt, one family, one school, one district, one community, and we bring our students in. Welcome them, come on, you want to transfer from a big district, come on over here. Bring your high achieving grades, bring your AP grades, bring your athletics, bring your voice for choir, for theater, bring all that stuff. Heck, Career Connection, we can teach you how to drive a wheelbarrow. Do they teach you that at that school? Probably not. We're going to give you that opportunity to expose yourself to all kinds of opportunities that you want to. And you're only 5 or 6 kids, you're just as important as the 25 in that classroom. So CSEA, I want you to make sure that your staff know that we certainly do appreciate them. Every time I drive around and I'm in the community all the time, and I'm the retired guy that runs around all the time looking, and I'm looking all the time I'm running around. So I'm looking at every campus, and my guy's right here. I come by, hey, I'm not by the school here. What's going on here? I'll tell you a story about that. When I was in the drill sergeant academy up at Fort Ord, we were driving around and I had my platoon. I was going down the side of the road. I didn't get to the end of the block and the captain says, get the trash picked up. And I go, what are you talking about? Because the general went by and he said, is that a cigarette butt on the ground? Well, everybody flies, got to get it picked up. So it's that observation. We have schools that look good. We have CSCA staff that are in the front office that are doing an outstanding job. We have exceptional teachers. We are advertising, filling teachers all the time. And the shortage, like Ms. Jensen said, it's every district. We're not unique. We're special. We have shortages just like every other district. We have to work harder to capture that attendant teacher and that classified person to come here and work, because you're not going to make a ton of money. But you're going to make a big difference because you're going to be on that one-on-one with the students in the classroom, on the campus, before school, after school, at an after-school event, prom night, dance, Disneyland, athletic events. Those are the people we want. If you're here to get money, I'm not sure that I want you on this staff. We're going to do everything we can with that. We're going to work with our member units and we're going to do the things we can. But we have to make sure that we're resilient, that we take care of what we do have. And as we grow in small steps, baby steps moving forward. But the reward for me was I never once questioned my paycheck the whole 18 years I was here. I didn't care. I mean, I was getting paid. I wanted to know what the students were doing. And I just came to class and wanted to do that. And we have tons of employees like that. They have requirements. They have things they have to do. Yes, we know they have families. They have households. Yeah, we get that. There's not one board member here that doesn't think about that and agonize over that difficult decision about the things we have to do for our CSEA and our certificated and our students. If we can take care of those 3 key groups, the parents are going to be happy. They know that their kids are going to come, they're going to have opportunity, they're going to be safe, and they're going to get the job done. So curb appeal, maintenance and operations. Thank you for all the work. Make sure all the people know, make sure all the classified people know. Mr. Sparks left. I know I talked to Miss Owens and kind of chatted her ear up a little bit about theater arts. We've got a great outdoor stage at the high school. We've got an indoor stage. We need to use these facilities. Kids want to get up there and show what they can do. We had Miss Roberts way back when we were on the temporary campus and she put on, we didn't have a theater. We didn't have anything. We made a stage out in the quad. We have great evenings here that we can have outdoor plays in the evening. And the kids love that. I did it in high school. I did it in college. Wasn't very good at it, but boy, did I have a great time. But I remember it all the time. I remember all the fun I had working with my classmates. And I go to my alumni functions because I graduated from Hard High, and that's all we talk about. We talk about how much fun we had in high school. We really had a great time in high school. And I want our students to enjoy their high school experience, but we've got to expose them because this is our biggest challenge. This is the biggest thing that we have to do. The teacher in the classroom, the campus supervision, this is the biggest challenge. The comments that we get, half of this is fake. It's not even, where did this come from? So PD is great. I'm just accepting. I went to a ton of PD and I remember mentioning it to Nicole and Ms. Chun, and I go, gosh, you know, we went to many PDs and I said, well, how can I use this? I'm glad that we have PD that our staff can use, and I'm super glad that we have PD for CSEA. How can I use this to make my job better? Not easier, but better. How can I do my job better so my students and everybody that my campus is the best looking campus? Mr. Sparks has it for baseball. If you go by that baseball field out there, you'll see one guy on that infield all the time, and that's Coach Sparks. We butt heads all the time because he knows that athletics is a primary thing for me. It's an elective. It's one of the biggest electives we offer our students. I don't want to take any shortcuts. I'm not going to lower the bar so somebody feels good. So we butt heads a lot, but I'm appreciative of the constant support that he gives the student athletes. And that's where we draw kids in when they come in here and perform for their parents and their grandparents and their friends and have a great time participating in something that's going to help them academically in the class. So I'm going to close with, I'm really interested in your professional understanding in your position. I'm not interested in your personal opinion. Those are yours. You can have them, you can express them, but they're not going to help me make my mind up. What is your professional understanding and acknowledgement? What can you do for us? What can we do for you? What can we do? What can Dr. Chamberlain do? What can Miss Van Ornum do? That's what I want. I don't care about your personal opinion. I want your professional judgment. Look out for our students on the campus and make sure that's the place where we want them to go. And they're our ambassadors. Send them home every day so that they go somewhere and say, I go the best day. Because I can assure you, all the travels I made to Mammoth and all the places we went, the one thing they said the most about our students, God, you guys have some really nice kids. Teachers were saying that, the police were saying that at some of the football games. Oh, you guys, they didn't run, they're really nice. Okay, but they're being kids. But we have great kids in this community. And that's kudos to the parents. I see a parent over there that's a graduate and she's got her kids here. And I love it when I see my former students come in and express, and they get angry with me. They get mad. Well, they did that in the classroom too. They did that on the football field. But now look at them. They're credible adults in the community. And that's kudos to the teachers and the certificated and the classified and the employees of the district. We board members didn't do any of that. We try to provide you the support, technology to help you do your job better, not do your job easier, because it's not going to get easier. The guys in Sacramento and the people down in LA County are making it tough all the time. That gentleman knows, and this gentleman knows. So thank you for all your work. I'm looking forward to ADA. Like Brianna said it right. Well, let's see what happens 2 weeks after school starts. If it bumps up a little bit, that's even better. But that's just exceptional that we have that we can start drawing kids in, be that magnet for success. And Vasquez, Meadowlark, and High Desert can be that. Thank you. All right, here we go. Item number 9. Consent agenda. Okay, we have an extended consent agenda. I'm going to read the numbers off, and then I will read out the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to consider? Oh, this motion to consider the consent agenda. Chad?
I'll second.
Who is that, Brianna? Okay. The consent agenda will be items 9. I'm going to read the alphas off. B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. So 9B is the minutes from 6/23/22. 9C is the agenda items from our special board meeting 7/14/22. 9D is the warrant register. 9E is Pepperdine Graduate School Education and Psychology Direct Teaching Agreement. 9F is the agreement with Fagan, Friedman, and Bullfrost. 9, where's that? Where'd G go? Oh, 9 G back here. 9G is the approval of the agreement with quizzes not to exceed $4,032. Where'd they go? There it is. 9H is the approval of the quote for Committee for Children not to exceed $5,894.25. 9I is the approval for proposal for Sunday system not to exceed $10,792.32. 9J is the approval for quote of iBoss cybersecurity not to exceed $8,922.15. 9K is the approval of a quote for Renaissance Learning 2022 to 2023 not to exceed $20,929.50. And 9L is the approval of, oh, wait a minute, did we pull that? Yes, 9L is the approval of order form for Edmentum not to exceed $18,640. Dr. Sahakian, is there anything? Okay, board member discussion?
No.
I want to pull items D, F, and L for discussion. We can group the rest
Okay,
for vote. D, F, and L.
hold on, just let me mark before you misspoke. That's what they're saying. Okay, here's the L. Pulling that one. And then D.
D, F, and L.
She is the world.
D is the warrant register.
Yes,
And F is
the F three.
agreement with Fagan, Friedman, full motion. So we'll call the question on, do we call the question on balance and then?
Full L too.
And L is the approval of order form Edmentum not to exceed $18,640.
So I move that we approve the consent calendar with the exceptions of item D, F, and L.
Board member discussion? I mean, do I have a second for the amendment to the consent?
I'll second.
Kelly? So call the question on the amendment.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. So the amended consent calendar B, C, F, G, H, I, J, and K is approved. So now we'll go to item 9D, warrant register, motion to consider.
I move.
Ken,
I'll second.
Kelly, board member discussion.
Okay, so the reason I'm pulling this, we already know the answer, but I think that there are some people who may be interested in this. That are going to make a trip to Norwalk or already have or will. I'm going to zip through this. I hope somebody has a copy of this. Let's start on page 1. Second item there, that benefits specific children in our district that we require autism support. Or is that happening outside of our district?
Those are outside of our district.
Okay. Note that one. Let's go to page 6. AV Union High School District. You see, there's two amounts there totaling $168,000. Is that a programmatic support, or are those the placement of children?
Those are the excess cost replacement of our students that
Is-
they provide services.
Is
for.
that an annual amount? Is that the tail end, or is that a monthly amount?
Those are old bills that Antelope Valley Union High School was holding because they were in transition.
So at the end of the year, children that require placement in a placement that we aren't equipped to offer those services, that is the year-end total for a number of students.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go to the next page, Behavioral Learning Center. I'm seeing a number of different totals there. My understanding is that those are supports for individual students, plural. When I vote the consent calendar, after asking all these questions, I'm going to abstain because my daughter is one of those students that's supported by this. Let's go to page 8. Down at the bottom there, California Pacific Charter School. That appears to be a pass-through. Pass-through meaning the district gives the charter its revenue before the district receives its money. And if your reserve is low, sometimes you can't afford to do that. And LACO is not going to lend you the money to do pass-through on charters. This is a significant problem if your reserve levels are being squandered away on pet projects. You'll find that there are a number of charters in here, and these are pass-through amounts. Is it my understanding that a number starting with, on the next page, page 9 up at the top, the number that has a parentheses around it is actually a deduction from the pass-through amount because something happened, probably an enrollment decrease. Back in the old days, that enrollment decrease would have cost us an additional 2% of revenue. It takes quite a few kids at 1% to reach $4,000. We're almost done. Page 13. Department of Justice. Is this for employee fingerprinting? Is this some kind of filing for a Office of Administrative Hearings, Special Education, Civil Rights violation?
Fingerprint.
That's better, thank you. Page 14. Edwards, Stevens, and Tucker, those are the charter attorneys, is that correct?
Yes.
I remember when these bills were $450,000 a year. This one seems to be about 6,800, which means that Ms. Patterson Shea is being supported in her review of charters by an attorney. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go to page 16. Yes. Gaggle. Is this the annual fee?
Yes.
Is this in the rears or is this forward?
22, 23.
So you've got the entire school year paid for on a system that finds kids who could be potentially in trouble. Let's go to page 18. We have 2 entries for iLead charter. One for the online system, one for hybrid. These are pass-through amounts as well.
Yes, for June and July.
This is a monthly thing that we pay them.
Yes.
This number, both of these numbers seem to be pretty significant. Those are back credits.
Yes.
I would assume that's an enrollment decrease.
No, those are our costs that we hold back, so they don't have to, we don't have to invoice them and wait for them to send us.
So there's nothing significantly wrong with iLead. I think I remember inviting them in here. Usually when I invite people to parties, I like them to respond to. Okay, I'm noticing a great number of staff members. Some of these staff members, like the one on page 22, I won't call their name out, but it's my experience that those staff members go to other schools and actually are the instructor in conferences like this one that have significant experience. And I've seen a lot of conference attendance in here, which means that in addition to the in-house professional development days, people are participating in conferences all over, all the place, all the time, and a lot of staff are doing that. I like that very much. Page 26. Palmdale School District. Excess cost, is this a monthly cost or is this the end of the year catch up?
Annual.
I would suppose that this is the Ocotillo Autism Unit. That's just my, I see someone named Paula Chamberlain, that looks familiar for me, maybe I'll talk about that one in a minute. Let's go to page 28. Raptor Technology. Is this a monthly fee?
That looks like,
That seems excessive for me being the only one that uses it. Hint, hint. Oh, by the way, I want to introduce another board member comment here. I walked out to the school, sorry, call me to order. I walked out to Meadowlark School. In addition to a buzzer, they had dark, some kind of something or other where I could not see in. And I thought, you know, if there's somebody trying to come into the school to harm kids and you're a staff member, come up, they can't see where you are. And I really, really thought that was cool. I thought that was very cool. And I see people taking steps. So guys, I know that anybody, Brittany left, but she knows every time I come onto a campus, I'm pulling the Raptor system. I don't hide behind the color of my office with some badge or something. Use the Raptor system, guys. And God forbid something happens. You have to at least know, I don't want to live the rest of my life knowing that I didn't sign in. Just something that's really simple. That was really important. That was one of Larry King's things that he brought in just before he ran away from me. That is it, guys.
Any other board member discussion on the warrant register? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Paul Chapman, staying.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Walker, bye.
Tim Jorgensen, I vote is 4-0 with one abstention. All right, 9F agreement with Fagan Friedman of Full Frost, motion to consider.
I'll
Chad,
second.
Brianna, board member discussion.
When I started with my service up here and prior to it, Fagan Full Frost and Freeman used to be the attorney of record in everything except charter cases. I see them coming back on. They were not in the annual list of attorneys. Everybody out there that wants to know the budget hasn't been around much. I ask every year for all the not to exceed contracts to be posted. There are 2 attorneys on there that we typically see. This is an addition. I noticed that there's no not to exceed amount on this. So I would just like a brief explanation of what this is for and why we're bringing them in. And if there's some amount of objectivity that's involved, so we're not overlapping attorneys and depending on one and coming after the fact. I'd like to hear a little bit about that as well.
okay, so the Triple F group is just being placed on the agenda as an alternative law firm that the superintendent's office will have access to be able to utilize for if needed for a different set of opinion. There is no dollar amount tied to it. We do have a set amount of a legal attorney fee budget for a line item specifically for that. And that encompasses all of the attorneys. So whether they decide to use AALR, if they're not available for a certain reason, or if they're not handling a certain case or whatnot, then he has an option to contact another firm if
Would you be
needed.
so good, it's not my direction, I think I would have support here, to put that on the annual list of contracts. And at the end of the year, try to figure out how much we have used, and then carry that forward. Would it be a fair assumption by me to say if there had been an attorney involved in something that required some type of training or something like that, that we could turn to another firm that does no connection to anything that's happened and would be able to offer objective training to staff or address an issue or possibly even an investigation, that they're not biased by other previous work in the district? Would that be fair?
Yes.
Thank you for answering questions I already knew the answer to. Is everyone out there listening? Good. You're welcome. Call the question.
Any further discussion? Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, aye.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries 5-0. And the last one was
L.
I'll
move that in.
Hold on just a moment. 9L, motion to consider, Mr. Paulsgraf,
I don't think.
Chad seconds, board member discussion.
I have no discussion. Confusing. Call the question.
Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, abstain.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries 4-0, 1 abstention.
President, with the consent calendar over, given the time, I would suggest that most of the stuff we're going to blow through this. I would suggest that we extend the meeting to 10:45, whether we need it or not.
The motion to extend the board meeting to 10:45.
So moved.
A second.
Second, Brianna. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, aye.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries 5-0. Board is extended to 10:45 as needed. All right, 10A, personnel action report, motion to consider.
Kelly Jensen, so moved.
Kelly. Chad. Dr. Zahaki.
Thank you, Mr. Jorgensen. We have an amended part I'd like to bring to everybody's attention. Certificated hires include 1 math teacher, most recently and a Apex credit recovery teacher as well. We have resignations of 2 teachers, certificated, of course. Classified, we've added 2 hires, sped instructional aid and a PE aid. And resignation of a bus driver. We've also added for athletics, High Desert Athletic Director, middle school cross-country coach, middle school cross-country coach assistant, middle school girls varsity volleyball coach, middle school boys varsity volleyball coach, and head varsity football coach. And then we have our current positions as open and vacant listed on Edjoin. Thank you.
Board member discussion.
I don't have any discussion. I just know that's got to get people in and hire people as soon as we can. So, yes.
I have a question. Do you have any positions that you're purposely aging or that are hung up in HR as a means of cost savings? So you're actively recruiting for every open position there.
Yes.
When it comes to some of the positions that are being held, I noticed that you are reposting positions over and over and over. And sometimes highly qualified candidates understand that, or you tapping the one next to you, understand that it's not a reflection on your capacities, but it's the idea that just because 40,000 other people live with Mr. Sahakian within a 1,000-foot square radius or whatever you want to call it in Pasadena doesn't make you the inappropriate candidate. So, so there's no aging of positions. So nobody's going to come in here and tell me that I'm halting people being hired. I think Kelly's let us know that the job market's very rough. That's all I have. Thank you. Welcome aboard, Doctor. Oh, thank you for sharing.
I have a couple of comments. I want to thank or congratulate HR on being able to fill that football position so quickly. I was able to go out and watch a scrimmage. I want to say earlier in the summer. And then I was able to go out and watch practice in the last week or so. The difference in the way that the team is performing together as one is astounding. It's really fun to watch. I can't wait for their season, but I do want to congratulate HR and Mr. Sahakian on being able to fill that position so quickly and making sure that that team had a coach and a leader, and making sure that they understood that they are valued as student athletes and that they were going to be able to play their season. Because as a mom, I know what it's like when your kid can't play their season. That was huge for you to do for the team and for the school and for our town. So thank you very much for being able to fill that position for that team. And there's so many familiar names coming in and some familiar names that are leaving, and that's very sad, but the familiar names coming in are very exciting. So having so many new staff members coming in and being able to fill all those positions before we start school is very cool. I do have a question on the very top of the second page. The line says middle school boys varsity volleyball coach, but it doesn't have a name, a site, or a date. Is that somebody that was that supposed to be on the same line as Michelle Herman?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so what was that? Right, so it just made the line, so it looks like it's two different lines. I just want to clarify. That is all, she's doing both. That's all, thank you.
I just have, but it's exciting to have the football coach now. So this football coach has the NFHS certification, concussion awareness, and CPR.
Those are all screened with HR in terms of
So that
credentials. Yes.
this person is all. And then what about, has there been any recommendations for assistants? It's not a one-man job.
I do know that there are assistants and they've
So
gone. through
that
the-
coach is
they've
going to
gone
be making
through the
recommendations, and then we're going to process some of these.
process done. Correct.
Very good. Cool. Any further discussion?
I thought we were only talking about the changes, so I just want to say that I'm very excited to see some names on here, some people I've known for many years, and they're going to be great employees, and I'm glad they're going to be serving our kids, and of course, starting off the year with the high school principal is fantastic. And so I see some people that are going to get some different positions that I think they're happy about, and we are too. So congratulations to all our new employees and welcome to Acton Agua Dulce School District. So
Before we
thank you
go
for the
on,
hard work, HR, and everybody that's been working.
Before I conclude, I want to welcome Dr. Chamberlain coming in here because this is going to be a pretty. It's going to be a challenge, but it's an exciting challenge on that campus that you'll be able to meet the needs of the students and the staff and carry us forward going into this year. This is going to be a great opening now that we're free of all our COVID restrictions and all that, that we can get back to the business of looking out for our students in full force. So no further discussion, call the question.
Kelly Johnson, on.
Walls Graph, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Ken Jorgensen, the motion warrant register is unanimously approved. Congratulations to all.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Now that we've officially voted our Vasquez principal in, now I would like to formally congratulate you and thank you so much for coming aboard. I don't have kids at Vasquez. I don't have a whole lot of experience in dealing one-on-one with you personally, but I will say when we did receive an email, the speed in which you replied was incredible. So thank you for being so quick to respond. I think that's huge, even if you don't have all of the answers, even if you don't know exactly what to say, to respond and let our parents and our community know that you saw it, you heard it, and you're working on it. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear that they've been heard and that they are on your radar. And they might not like the outcome, but you were there and you responded so quickly. And I'm excited to see that going into the future. I've heard nothing but amazing things from families and staff. So thank you very much for coming aboard and welcome.
Oh, I feel excluded. Thank you for not violating anyone's civil rights. Thank you. Perfect, thank you.
All right, 11A, memorandum of understanding MOU with Child and Family Center.
I'll move.
Motion to consider, Ken. I'll
Second,
se-
Kelly.
Kelly seconds, Dr. Zahakian.
Thank you. I'd like to go ahead and give credit to our counselor on contract, Ms. Bambi Ballesteros, for introducing the Child Family Center to the district. The center may provide 10 hours of mental health services to those that qualify on referral from our school sites at no cost, free of charge. Thank you.
Board member discussion. Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, aye.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries. 11B, Bedford, Freeman and Worth High School Publishers, MPS AP Physics Books, motion to consider.
Kelly
Falls Graph,
Jensen.
move.
Kelly,
Second, Kelly.
Ken second. Dr. Zahakian.
Thank you. This would be a request to approve a textbook adoption at Vasquez for AP Physics. And if there's any comments, I will defer it to our new principal at Vasquez, Dr. Chinwala.
Board member discussion.
Not a lot of discussion. They need their books and we need to have more AP winners out there. So I'm in favor.
Call the question.
This kind of takes care of that differentiation we're talking about where everybody's blending things to get rid of AP classes, right? Right, yeah, okay.
Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, aye.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries 5-0. 11C, quote, Savas Learning Company LLC for AP Science and Chemistry not to exceed $30,511.20. Motion to consider.
Kelly Jensen, so moved.
Falls Graph, second.
Ken. Dr. Zahakian.
Thank you. This is again for Vasquez textbook adoption for AP Science and Chemistry.
Board member discussion.
No
Sure.
discussion, just happy that we're getting some updated materials. So thanks to the team for going through the adoption process.
Same quote as before. We're not pushing differentiation out the door.
Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, aye.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries 5-0. 11D, proposal for Vista Higher Learning. Not to
moved.
exceed $22,221.12.
A motion.
Brianna,
Kelly Jensen, second.
Kelly, Dr. Zahakian.
Thank you. This would be a request for Spanish textbook adoption for Vasquez High School. This is a invoice. It's a one-time cost for materials.
Board member discussion.
Is this the one we added, correct?
That's correct, Ms. Jensen.
This is the one that we added. Okay. Hardcover books, teacher editions. Okay. Do we move it in? Yes, we did, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No further discussion. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls
Okay.
Graph, abstain.
Hold on, did you have a question?
But
Sorry.
I just wanted to hear if Ken had any input here because you.
No, I abstain.
Okay.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I 4-0, 1 abstention. 11E. New AR 4112.23 Administrative Regulations, Special Education Staff. First read, Dr. Zahakian.
Thank you. This AR really provides a guideline for qualifications and the assignment of SPED teachers along with the resource specialists. It's a new administrative regulation for review. Thank you.
Board discussion? None?
I have comments.
Okay.
I am very excited about this because finally, we're not just turning our head to, oh, yeah, the resource teacher has 46 people on their caseload. This is the first time I've seen this district take responsibility and back up the employees to say, for example, that the resource specialist shall have a caseload. No resource teacher will have a caseload in excess of 28 students. And what it says is to staff is, you don't have to pretend you're following the IEP. You don't have to sit with some aggressive parent in an IEP meeting and have the administrator that's not supporting you sit there and look out the window while you're getting chewed up by a parent. This is actually the district. The most important part about this is the district is providing guidelines that protect the validity of the system and the legitimacy of the system. And on the top, it gives a number of parameters of what to happen when the caseloads temporarily exceed this. I know for a fact that in the old CAC committee meetings in the Southwest, they would bring in a speaker, and the next thing you know, you got 25 people coming in saying, Ms. Van Ornum, I need to have an IEP, I need to have this and that. So there are times when people get excited and come in, and the district can't possibly keep up with the caseload. The important part here is, I hope that this has been talked over with the employee associations. I hope they don't have comments, because it gives the district availability to reach out with the temporary psychologists and temporary care providers to take up the caseload. So we're not dumping staff into a position where they're not compliant when issues arise. I'm very, very happy about this. The district is finally taking responsibility at the top end for this kind of thing.
Any other board member comments? Okay, 11F. AR 4122,
Question.
it's just a first read.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
Ooh,
11F.
Mr. President.
AR 4122.22 Administrative Regulation Staff Teaching English Learners. First read, Dr. Sahakian.
Thank you. This AR provides, again, guideline and qualifications and definitions for staff teaching our EL students, such as the appropriate authorization through CTC, authorizing our EL teachers, our teachers to teach our EL population. Thank you.
Board member comment?
I have one, please. It says also here, it specifically calls out designated ELD, Dr. Sakian. So I want to make sure that as we're starting the school year, that we're working with our staff and our administrators and making sure that designated ELD is happening, not just integrated ELD.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Jensen.
So that's something that we've
Specific
really worked
time
hard
of
on
instruction.
prior to you coming here. So I just want to make sure that's very important to me personally, but to make sure that designated ELD is happening.
excuse me, let's say that you've never been to a school board meeting. What does that mean? What did that exchange just?
So integrated ELD is you use strategies to support English learners as you're instructing them. When he talks about the special training they have to have. So integrated means throughout the day as you're teaching, you're using some strategies to support ELD. Designated ELD is a specific time of day that you're actually supporting your English learners.
So it's like really happening.
Yeah.
What a concept.
I know. So integrated and designated ELD. So I want to make sure that designated ELD is also happening.
Thank you, Ms. Jensen. And since we have Dr. Chamberlain here, if she doesn't mind providing input in terms of the designated time for our EL students at Vasquez within the school site schedule. Thank you.
Yeah, we have an ELD class. And one of the things that we're working on is identifying like who our kids are, what levels they're at, and then working with our teacher to really target specific kids at each of the 4 levels. And it's a designated time. So we're going to target them individually. And I know there was a lot of work done last year with Miss Jenna Largent. So her and I have spoken about keeping that going and continue to build the program. So we're really supporting our kids.
Thank you so much. And she said something important. I'm going to tell you why. Because if we have students in this district for many years, they shouldn't be going to the high school needing designated ELD. Am I correct?
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
do have some long terms. We are
Mhm.
gonna really focus on those. We're also gonna really focus on educating the kids as it relates to what are the things that they need to do to redesignate. Because sometimes the kids don't know. And making sure that as we create that program, as well as the strategies, but also to really engage them in their own learning to redesignate out. Because some of them really, they're performing high in other levels, they're just not passing the test.
Thank you so much. I
So
appreciate
we're
it.
gonna work on that.
Thank you so much, because this is the first time I've had someone from the high school be able to explain that to me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm not an expert, but it's very important to me that we really, research shows that schools don't do a very good job at supporting our ELD students. So I've done some work around that and have some background on making sure that we support them. So it's important to me too as a school leader.
Thank you so much.
So while you're on there, don't go away. This is a federally mandated program, is that correct?
I believe it is.
Good, I like to be compliant with the feds, that way they're not in here state too, because we ran the auditor off. But did you say Jana Large in it?
Yeah, Jenna Large was our coordinator, I believe, last school year. And this year she has a full caseload. So Tiffany will be working and I'm gonna be working close. We have some transitions going on that, but I'm gonna be working close with them as a team to make sure, like I said, that we're targeting each of our students individually.
So this is like the district taking responsibility for maximum caseload. That's cool. Yeah, Jana Large, that would be the same Jana Largent that I've known for 10 years. It's also a charter school administrator, principal, name it, teacher, got the best remedial math program and scores going through the roof, turned my daughter around. Homework was a nightmare. Yeah, she's another all-star. Her and Stephanie have, they've held a special place in my analysis, because it's not my heart, I don't have one. In my analysis for a decade or more. So good for you, thank you.
Yeah, I'm very excited to work with them. They're a great team.
Okay, thank you. Item 12A, California Cadet Corps School Cooperative Agreement, motion to consider,
Sir, yes, sir.
and I'll second. Dr. Zaki.
Thank you. It was just at our July meeting, we had a presentation from Sergeant Sirkin from California Cadet Corps. We're seeking approval for this new opportunity at Vasquez High School, and the recruitment is still underway for the.
I think I'm available. Ms. T is available.
Board member discussion.
Pam Walter is available.
Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
False crap, I.
Brianna Texani, I.
Chad Walker, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries 5-0. 12B, 2022-2023 consolidated application. Business services, motion to consider. All motion. Chad second, Dr. Zahaki.
Thank you. We are requesting approval for the CONAP. It's an application to receive categorical funding for categorical programs such as Title I. And I don't know if Mr. Mirza wants to chime in for the CONAP.
Yeah, it's just our annual application to receive funding for our Title 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Without this, we will not receive funding for those programs.
Board member discussion.
Title I, does that include special education, socioeconomically challenged, foster, what else? What am I missing?
ELD.
Yeah, there we go.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Paul's graph, I.
Brianna Texani, I.
Chad Walker, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries 5-0. 12C, CompuClaim Agreement, consent, motion to consider.
Chad Walker.
Chad,
I'll second.
Brianna, Dr. Zaki.
Thank you. CompuClaim is a platform that supports the record keeping of any Medi-Cal referrals that are done by our district staff. And without this, the reimbursements will not come back to the district. So we are requesting for the agreement to be approved in the amount of $10,500. Mr. Musa, any additional information for our trustees?
So we are applying to be part of the Medi-Cal billing reimbursement program with Department of Healthcare Services. So this will allow us to bill back for billable hours for our like nurse, occupational therapists. It's just to be able to provide additional funding to our school district. And part of that is you have to have an agreement with a third-party record management company. So hence CompuCode.
Board member discussion?
Party time. Is this a means of recouping additional funding? In addition to the paltry 25% that special education is funded at typically?
Yes, this is, yeah.
And you can't, you have to have the third party, so you don't declare everyone as needing, what is the word? Orthopedic impairment. Oh, we know, look at that smile, we know that game. I need speech language pathology, but my eligibility is orthopedic impairment, so I have all these gadgets and stuff that never exist, but our funding goes up that way. That's not good. So is it true that every IEP has a box to check for the parent to understand that you're actually seeking their permission to bill Medicare back, Medicaid, whatever it is? I check the box every time. I would suggest that staff be prepared in the appropriate setting, which is not always the IEP, to explain to a parent that no one's trying to violate FERPA laws, but this is a good way to hedge against the encroachment that exists inherently on the general fund from special education. I wish I had a CAC rep in here that could hear me talk about this, because then we could like maybe encourage them to have a topic on that at their meeting.
Any further board member discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Paul Jeff, I.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Kim Jorgensen, I. Motion carries 5-0. Item 13, calendar. The next general board meeting will be on August 25th. And the following that will be at September 8th, 2022. Future agenda items. Any board member have any future agenda items?
Just following along with what Dr. Sahaki said, on the 25th meeting, we'll have some of our students or something highlighted.
Yes, we're looking to highlight the scholars that you just mentioned.
Correct. Thank you.
Comment on that. I like kids coming in here. I feel odd about forcing my way into their picture or anyway. I'm not really interested in the pictures. What I'm really interested in, piggybacking off of what Kelly is saying, she read through a list. I want to go through that list alphabetically of what these programs look like. And I want a simple, plain English. This program started here. It does this, it affects this many kids. This is how it's funded. I need like a systematic, write a memo, make a template, and follow that list down of what the signature programs are, please. Some people learn by osmosis. They figure because there's 10 kids standing up here, something is good is happening. I want this measured. I want this confusion to stop. I want a resource. And then please take those staff reports and put them as a link on the web page so people can click on it and say, okay, what does this program mean? They can read it. And then when somebody gets all confused, I got this new thing called a computer, and I can put a hyperlink. I can paste it to them and email it to them and say, very misinformed. Here's what we're talking about. But please focus on what the program description is and what the outcome is. I think that when we go through our superintendent's report, people are missing. That's part of the strategic plan. 1.2 is a strategic plan element. And with the strategic plan update, what I'm expecting to see is a report out on what's been accomplished, what's midway, and what's measurable next. That makes it really easy for people to understand. But I mean, I can hire a bunch of kids to stand up here and say, I'm doing well. I need measure where it's defined and it becomes memorialized.
If I could chime in one more thing is, I know we have our signature programs here, but we also have some stuff Metalark is doing. So I don't want to forget and maybe have some of them and highlight some of their programs as well.
Okay, item 15, adjournment, motion to consider. Chad,
I'll second.
motion fails, no, I'm just kidding. Brianna. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls, I.
Brianna Texoni, I.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, I motion carries. We will adjourn at 10:09. Thank you.